Thanks for staying with us. This is Newsline, and we're talking this evening about whether you, a young person, young people in Hong Kong, can become the next Li Ka-shing, as Henry Tang, our Chief Secretary, says that they can. But I've got two young people here who says that perhaps not. Shirry Heung, actually I think it was Ronnie Chan, who is the head of Hang Lung Property Development Company. Even he said a few days back that there's just no chance of anybody in today's world to become the next Li Ka-shing. That era has gone. And he says he cannot even, and he's a property developer in his own right, and he says I cannot even be 1/10 of Li Ka-shing anymore. It's just not possible. But you mentioned property hegemony, both of you, the dominance of property developers in Hong Kong. Henry Tang says there is no dominance. You mentioned things like the wealth gap. You mentioned things like high property prices, and you mentioned things like social mobility, whether you can rise up in the world in Hong Kong. These are problems that a lot of people have acknowledged do exist. Henry Tang acknowledged that too. Do you think that these problems were created by property developers' dominance in Hong Kong, or were they created by the government?
I think both of them have the responsibility to create such income gap and such.
But surely they don't want to create it. This is the income gap that's happening all over the world in advanced societies.
But in Hong Kong society, this is a structural problem in Hong Kong, because like every aspect of our life is related, is dominated by the developers in Hong Kong. Property developers. For example, we go to supermarket to buy food for our daily life or for daily necessities. We go to pack-kind shops, welcome, marketplace, and all these are dominated by the property developers. So in every aspect of our life, we have to
What's wrong with that, Shirry? Their businesses are legal. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but every aspect are dominated by them, then we don't have the competitiveness in the societies, then the price can remain high, and then they can control the price, especially when the competition law is not yet.
Do you feel they're doing that? Are they actually doing that?
Yeah.
Well, Ramon, is it the reason why you joined the Democrats to fight these issues, to try and improve the wealth gap, to try and creates upward mobility, lower property prices? The government does not want to lower property prices. Why do you want to blame the property developers? Everything they have done, they've done within the law.
Yeah, they have done within the law. Yeah, this is legal. If this is illegal, they will be get sued.
Sure, but they've done everything within the law.
You can look at the whole thing. It's very unfair. As I have mentioned,
how have they treated you unfairly? You tell me that.
You can see in different industry the entry barrier is just too high, and you can see like a few years ago, the Carrefour want to enter to Hong Kong.
Carrefour is a European supermarket chain.
Yeah. They cannot.
It's a really big one.
They left.
But they still can't enter into the Hong Kong market because of the land. Too high rent.
All the shopping malls are owned by those property developers, and the
transport you don't have another choice. If you used to go to work by bus, if they increase the price, increase the fees, and then you don't have another choice. You can't choose any other vehicles.
But you both of you are sitting here, Shirry, Ramon. And you're complaining about Hong Kong society, but others will look at you and say, Shirry, you've gone to college, you're going to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Ramon, you're finished, you're a financial advisor, you've got good jobs. What are you complaining about?
Actually, not just ourselves, but we have to look at other people as well.
Yeah.
Especially when I work in the district in Mongkok, because we have some social work over there. We can see those people, especially the elderly, suffer very much. Suffer the high rents, but they cannot do anything. They can just pick the paper and sell them, pick the pen and sell them.
All of us have seen old women, frail, weak women pushing carts with cardboard boxes.
The hegemony is just not only on us, but on them as well.
You cannot blame Li Ka-shing for that. He doesn't have any responsibility to help that old woman who's collecting cardboard boxes. That's government.
The government has to do something. I'm not blaming the property developer only, because I think there is a vicious cycle between the government and the property developer, which makes the property hegemony.
Shirry, there is this feeling of anger among people like yourselves, the younger generation, towards the property developers. Do you see this growing?
Actually, my anger is not directly to the property developers.
Where is it directed?
It's the social system and the structural problems in Hong Kong. Because, like what you say, even if we have the capacity to earn money, but we don't want to live in a city where we can see there's a big income gaps and so many lower class people living their life like what we did in the developing countries. That's not what we want to see. So we want to live in a just societies.
What do you mean by a just society? Societies are never just.
Yeah, but I guess everyone should have the equal opportunity to get.
Are you saying there are no equal opportunities for young people in Hong Kong, or for everybody?
I don't think there's any equal opportunity in Hong Kong.
But Henry Tang says we're a free society. Look at the people who started Milan Station. Look at the people who started Sasa, and there are opportunities for them.
Yeah, but think about it, if you are coming from the low income groups, and then you can't even compete from 5, then what can you do? You can't actually pick the job you want to do, so you are forced to do some very low cost job and then earning very low money. You have to work like 18 hours, 16 hours in order to earn enough for yourself and your families. So,
are you going to run to be a politician sometime in the future? You've joined the Young Civics. Do you want to run for elective office?
I didn't think about it at the moment.
What about you, Ramon? Because you're doing some district work, you said, so you plan to do that.
Yeah, I will have a consideration about that. Because
why do you want to be a politician?
Just because I think the current policy research is not good enough, and I want to from down up how to see from the general people, the general public, and see what they have done, and see what they need, and from this, and to have some good policy research for my party and to the government. I want to make things better, because Henry Tang is something like that, because he is in the universe. They don't really care much about the general public.
Ramon says he doesn't want to see Henry Tang as the next chief executive. The people who may become the chief executive as of this point is Henry Tang, C.Y. Leung, that's Leung Chun-ying, Rita Fan, the former president of the Legislative Council, and possibly Regina Yip. Of those 4, who do you want to see as the next chief executive?
I think everyone is the same for me, because I think the chief executive is no matter who be the chief executive, the situation will be the same, because like the chief executive do not have real power in Hong Kong, and he has to listen to what the central government said anyways.
So that's a pretty not a very forward-looking view that you've given.
Yeah, unless the system has changed.
What about you? I mean, of the name that I mentioned, who do you want? You don't want to see Henry Tang as the next chief. Who do you want to see the next chief executive?
Of course, I want something to get elected by our people, or our Hong Kong people, So I remain positive because I am optimistic that we can vote our own chief executive, not in 2012.
2017, you can do that, right?
I believe that.
You believe in that?
Yeah, but
do you think there's any barriers in the elections, or do you really have a real choice?
There will be some barriers for sure, but if those candidates are elected by our people, there are some pressure to remove those barriers off.
Yeah, but the definition of free elections, which defined by our governments and defined by our parties, is quite different.
I believe if all our Hong Kong people fight for it, cooperative enough, they have to give us the free election.
You don't believe that?
I don't believe it.
You do?
I believe that because why I want to be a politician, because I believe that I remain positive. If I am not optimistic enough, I will choose to leave Hong Kong. Yeah, Henry Tan is right. Hong Kong is a very free economy. You can live.
Well, you're not positive. Tell me this, among the young people in Hong Kong, are they all as disillusioned as you are about the future, Shirry?
I don't think so. I guess I'm not too negative, but I'm just, from what I see in these few months, and I think it's the government just won't listen to what people say.
Do you go to the streets and protest like some other young people? They have scuffles with the police and there's tear gas. That's happened before.
Oh, no.
Do you do that?
No.
Do you agree with that?
But I think because this is a consequence that because of the government does not listen, they don't want to listen to the people, they are afraid of the people. So
you don't think those young kids who protested about a new railway and so on, and there were scuffles, you don't think that was wrong?
It is not the questions about whether it's wrong or whether it's right. But when the people has used up all the channels, all the ways to express their feeling to the government, to express their opinion to the government, but the government did not listen, then they will have no choice but to do.
All right. Okay, I'm going to have to end the show there. Thank you both for being here. See you next week. Good evening.